Beautiful Monday morning here in Lei Mei Pim Beach, Rayong, Thailand. It's a really quiet little resort beach for those of you who don't know. It's actually a couple of resorts down on this end, a couple of resorts down on the far end, and then in the middle it's very local, lots of local restaurants. And for 4 days now, and as you find with a lot of these beaches, the weekend all the local families come out, they're all enjoying themselves. A lot of the time they bring tables, barbecues, etc. and set up here on the beach. It's a really nice atmosphere. It's the sort of atmosphere that I like. But then you get to Monday and everything seems much more barren, much more derelict. There are a few tourists around, but it's not a happening place. It's not a party scene. It's exactly what we wanted for this trip. We've got some family visiting at the moment, but it's not a place to come if you are looking for that nightlife, those bars, that music, etc. And in this video, I just wanted to talk about one of the things that I found during my time traveling in Thailand. Now, we own a car, which is a small thing, but it makes such a huge difference because what it gives us is the opportunity to explore so many different places without any real risk of consequence, as dramatic as that sounds. If we go somewhere and it turns out not to be that interesting, it's not a very good spot, it's not a good spot for families, etc., then we can just jump in the car and we can drive on. Whereas if you are here traveling, if you are traveling from outside the country, or if you're based in Bangkok and you're looking for somewhere to spend a few days away from the city, then you don't want to waste your time by driving 3 hours, booking a hotel for 3-4 nights, only to find that this isn't the type of place that you were looking for. To give you the biggest rule, the biggest insight that I stick to when I'm thinking about these coastal areas, particularly down this eastern coast of Thailand. The more you drive, the further you drive from Bangkok, from Pattaya, the more beautiful it becomes, but the less you will find is there, the less you will find is happening. I think the perfect example of that is Chao Lao Beach. To me, it's one of my favorite beaches in all of Thailand. It's wide, it's long, you've got a beautiful sunset, it's peaceful. If you're with your family, your kids, you can play without the crowds, without the fear of the road next to the beach. Having stayed there for a couple of days last week, it really occurred to me there's not a lot there. There is not a lot there. There's a couple of resorts either end of the beach. There are places to stay, but just in terms of the general atmosphere, nightlife, restaurant options, food options, etc., there's not a whole lot there. So if you are looking for that beach vibe, these flies are doing my head in. If you are looking for that pure beach vibe, then it's a great option. But if you are looking for that blend of daytime activities and nighttime activities, it really is much more limited in that respect. Once the sun goes down, particularly if I was not with my baby, you want to go out and enjoy the nightlife, it's not the place to go. So then you work your way back up the coastline and you come to Rayong. I don't know if I'm convincing myself just for the sake of this video to justify my point, but Rayong seems to be that next level of development. Now, right here where we are, there is a lovely couple of restaurants there, got some nice live music going on, a few gift shops around, which might not sound like that much of a big thing, but it just shows that this is aimed more at tourists, far more so than Chao Lao, far more so than the beaches I've been to in Chanterbury. But again, this is not a nightlife destination. This is a very peaceful area. Look, this is a Monday about lunchtime. A little bit overcast today, not perfect weather, but as you can see, the beach is effectively empty. Then when you go further up the beach to places like Rayong Beach or Sengchan Moonlight Beach, because you are closer to the city of Rayong, I feel like those areas cater for a much wider range of groups, as in tourists, yes, but also families with children, people who want to have a drink, watch the sunset. You see a lot more action up there than you do somewhere down here. Now that trend will continue as you continue to move up the coastline, but the point I'm trying to make is not what's going on, but how beautiful are these places. Because as you can see, this beach is very pleasant, but They've built a beach road here. Beach roads to me are nice, especially if you're driving by, but it doesn't give you that secluded feeling of being on a nice, quiet, empty beach when you can hear the traffic going by, when there's hustle and bustle on the road. Sounds like a big bus is about to go by. Perfect timing. Stuff like that happening in the back. Oh. 2 superhero buses there. Stuff like that happening in the background, not a big deal, but it obviously does take you out of the moment if you're looking for that more secluded, quiet vibe. Whereas you go down to somewhere like Chantaburi, you can literally pull up on a random secluded strip of beach, not a human being in sight. Obviously, therefore, no restaurants in sight, no bars in sight, no atmosphere in sight. But for those who simply want a relaxing, peaceful time, you can't get any better than that. Me personally, in terms of exploration, I would prefer to just drive as far down the coastline as possible. You find all these little quiet, secluded beaches, Ao Yang Beach, Ao Kratong, these little pieces of untouched paradise that you simply don't get further up the coastline. Now there is Satahip, which is a very military influenced area, and they won't let foreigners in a lot of those beaches. A lot of those beaches, for whatever reason, because they are run by the military, are only for Thais. There is one beach, Lam Rang. Oh, I'll pop the name on the screen now and I'll put a couple of clips up. That beach will let foreigners in. That is a little beautiful, more quiet, peaceful, local beach, which is very close to Pattaya, not a million miles away from Bangkok. And then you've also got Sai Kiao, which again is a protected national park. When I say protected, I don't know if that's the actual word, but I just figure because there are people manning it, because there are people charging you to go in, because they seemingly limit the amount of businesses that can operate in there, it feels a lot more protected than other beaches. Those 2 beaches are around 45 minutes to an hour and a half, maybe at tops, away from Pattaya itself. If you're going to Pattaya, you know what you're going to go to Pattaya for. You know what you want there. There is some good to be had in Pattaya, but it also caters to a lot of other things, which when you have a family, you're simply not interested in. I mean, certain things I'm not interested in generally, but especially when you're with your family, you don't want that particular atmosphere. So if you're looking to avoid that, but you don't necessarily want to be flying down to Phuket, dealing with those crowds, flying down to Krabi, dealing with those crowds, the people that are there, definitely keep in mind the areas south of Pattaya. It's not far. The furthest place I've spoken about in this video is probably 2.5 hours to 3 hours drive max. The sunsets behind me there, the sunsets over those mountains are absolutely stunning, and they alone, the atmosphere at sunset time, that golden hour as they call it, make it worth the extra hassle because you basically got it to yourself. Completely up to you, whatever your tastes are, but definitely if you're looking for something a little bit alternative, a little bit quieter, a little bit more peaceful, look up these coastal beaches, do a little bit of research if something takes your fancy, and I'm sure you'll find 1 or 2 options worth considering. Probably something that you've never heard of before, but you'll come here and you'll find that it's this whole beautiful resort that you didn't even know existed. Thank you for watching the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. And until next time, bye bye.